as you know, Mark, my youngest was a professional football player for around 7 years.
Mm.
I followed his career and also helped out with the clubs in some cases, even up to managing the accommodation and meals where they spent their time and lived when they were not playing the game or training.
Mm.
So I've had quite a bit of insight into as to what goes on in a professional club here in Brazil,
Mm.
and not all of it is pretty, I have to tell you.
Well, yeah, it's gonna be like it, yeah.
So the latest fad here is fixing results so that the mafias can get one over on the bookies. But that's another story.
Yeah.
That's another day. I thought I'd seen almost everything until I read about what went on in the final of the Africa Cup of Nations on the 18th of January of this year. Senegal played against host nation Morocco in what was called by a journalist a somewhat tumultuous match.
Mm.
The referee had just disallowed a Senegalese goal and, in a moment of inspiration, gave Morocco a penalty. So the Senegalese manager removed his place from the pitch, and
Yeah.
they returned to the dressing room for a little over 15 minutes in disgust.
Mm.
Eventually, when they returned and the penalty was taken, the Moroccan player actually missed his mark, so they didn't score the goal
Yeah.
from the penalty spot. During what was left of the match, Senegal scored a goal,
Yeah.
and the result ended in a 1-0 win for Senegal.
Mm.
Now, however, the victory has been annulled by the ruling body of the CAF, which is the Confederation of African Football, and Morocco was given the title and a 3-0 score. Now, looking further on in the piece, it looked like both sides were given as good as they got because Morocco was fined by the CAF
Yeah.
being lax in security, misconduct by the ball boys, and interference with officials. So you can imagine that during the match,
Yeah,
you
there's
know,
all shenanigans going on all around the
uh,
place. Yeah.
even a Moroccan player was suspended a couple of matches for stealing the Senegalese goalkeeper's towel.
Mm.
So, of course, Senegal Football Federation said that the decision was unfair
Mm.
of this overturning the result
Yeah.
and will appeal the decision.
Mm.
So, question I'm going to leave open, although none of us saw the match,
Yeah.
could it be that the powers that be wanted Morocco to win the match? Because somebody has to take home the winner's purse.
Mm. All right.
There you are.
Oh, it sounds like a case of
You got,
arbit.
you got. I've just given you the same information that I got.
Right. It sounds like a big case for an arbitration coming at some point. Um, yeah, I've watched African football in the past, and fair play to the players. They put in a good shift normally. Yeah, African football is a little bit different from as we would imagine European football probably is. Like yesterday was Champions League day. Today is UEFA, Europa Cup or Europa competition. Yeah, so the standard of football, even at club level, is very, very different. Yeah, probably argue that in Brazil. Now, international level, I mean, obviously we know some very, very good African players because they come through into Europe and not necessarily South America yet. Um, Certainly into J League, I think, and also into the Chinese football as well. When I say yeah, I think yes, yeah.
That's where the
Well, of
money
course
is.
it is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I believe Argentinian and Brazilian football is being eyed up by some bigger. I know this is getting a bit off the main topic, but it's going to be connected in a minute. You'll see. It's being eyed up by some wealthy um, Arabs, probably Americans, and possibly Russians as well. But I don't know how true that one is. Yeah. So who want to buy club level? Obviously, the club levels down here with the players and all that feed into the upper levels. I, as a football fan, would like to think that football is clean, innocent. The result I'm watching is what's coming in. Yeah. The players all
Oh,
want to play their best. They all want to win.
oh, oh, the innocence.
I really want to respect all the players there, the hardworking, working class boys, who got to show up at every match to earn their place every single time. Yeah. The managers are all 100% for their club. They want their team to win in the best way possible. Yeah. And I want the fans who do support everything, and everyone should be fan centric, i.e., the fans should be at the center of everything, to actually be entertained by the football. Yeah. Go away, even if they lose, think my team played very well. That was just a fluke, that goal was. Yeah. This is my idea of football. This is my ideal. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not seeing any evidence to the other contrary. I see strange things happen sometimes, but hey, yeah. Um, what do I know? I mean, up and down the
Well,
country.
I think I have the answer for this conundrum
Yeah.
of what I've just told you, because
Yeah.
of course I had to speak to somebody who used to be a professional footballer and
Yeah.
would know a little bit more about the rules and regulations of the game.
Yeah.
But I'll hold that back just a second, just to hear what your knowledge of the game is.
Well, where there is wrongdoing, like happened in Italian football and German football in the past 20 or so years or 10 years, it got found out, and it was dealt with by the football authorities and also within the legal administration of the respective countries as well. Yeah. Because there's so much tied in with football now. Like you say, there's the betting is a new facet. There's always was betting. Now we're talking about big time betting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but all of
Oh,
this, of course, is off field. All
yeah.
this is in the back.
Yeah. But it all feeds in to possible diversions on the football itself.
Yes, of course.
Um, what a majority of clubs or main clubs in the world now are big corporations that play a little bit of football. Yeah. It's not the football that pays for everything. It's everything else pays for the football. Yeah, if the team does well or doesn't. It's the conversation I had the other day about my team in Tottenham. Impressive stadium now, fills up. There's an argument now that the stadium just there as a venue just makes money on its own merit. Nobody really cares if the team goes up, stays down, wins a trophy, doesn't win a trophy. Keep turning over managers like nobody's business. Can't find the right manager. For whatever reason.
I suppose if you have a certain density in the population
Mm,
of a local team, then the more the merrier, because they're
yeah,
always going to fill the stadium.
yeah,
But
yeah,
if you have a massive stadium in the middle of nowhere, like they've got somewhere up in Belém de Pará
yeah,
or somewhere like that here in Brazil,
yeah.
where the capacity of the stadium is more than the population that live near it,
Mm,
then you ask yourself questions about how that stadium was built in the first place.
yeah,
But I'm trying to get away from the off the field sort
yeah,
of
yeah. But
sort of
I'm trying to make a point
at
at the
this
moment that even
at this
international,
game in particular.
yeah, I mean, yeah, even in an international thing now, there's so much money tied up with international football. Yeah, which is not the
Yeah,
highest standard of football in my opinion either. Yeah, when I wa why do I watch an international game? I watch England play. I might watch Ireland play. Yeah. Um, and I'm watching them because of some weird spiritual, feeling about it all. Yeah. Um, but I'm not overall invested in the standard of football. Whereas I could happily watch Rio Madrid um, play Milan. for example, and be invested in just watching the spectacular football game itself. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can watch two international teams go each other and think this is dire football. I might even turn it off if I'm not really that emotionally invested in it. Yeah. I don't feel the same amount of tension. I want to be entertained. Oh, you're not entertained. Yeah, but I want to be entertained by the spectacle on the field. May the best team win. Now, if you're telling me that these results or these games are suspect, so many
No,
tackles
I'm talking
going.
about this. I'm talking about this game.
Yeah,
What should have happened?
yeah. I'm like you said. Did the powers that be, for some reason, want the underdog to win? Senegal were destined to be the winners. Um, I think the manager of the Senegal probably suspected something wasn't quite right and got a bit teshy about it. Was he? And I would have thought they're against the rules. The minute you take off your team off the field, surely that's a forfeit of the game anyway.
There you are.
But
That's
yeah, that's what my mind was going up. But you told me they were allowed to carry on the game, so I have to go with.
right. So, and this is exactly the words of wisdom that I heard from the footballer here
Mm,
at home.
yeah,
That yeah, when you take your players off the field, you're abandoning the game,
yeah,
and therefore you lose
mm,
automatically.
yeah.
And I said, but what if the team comes back on after 15 minutes? He says, I don't know. Depends on the referee.
Ultimately, the referee is responsible for everything that happens on the field. There is an argument the referee can decide outside things are endangering the players on the field. Like if there's a riot in the stadium, he can ask all the players to leave, which that is the arbitrator, that is the referee's decision. Yeah, everybody off. I'm protecting. I'm protecting the players. I'm protecting my staff, the training staff, etc. He is ultimately responsible. That's why these guys are paid a lot of money now. Yeah, the referee is protecting all the players ultimately, and all the staff and everyone in his team. His staff as well, if you like, not directly his staff, but yeah, and he has a responsibility for that. And then the civil authorities can go in and deal with whatever issues going on. Yeah. Um, or he can ask the players to all stand in the middle or something like that. But yeah, it's preferable he doesn't ask the players to leave. But the safest place for them at any probably point, if it kicks off too badly in the stadium, is in the dressing room. Yeah, surrounded by things, unless there's a fire in the stadium, of course, which is a different matter.
That's
But
the Bradford team. That one.
yeah, well, that was awful. I
But,
still
but
singe with
anyway,
that. Yeah, yeah,
uh, back
um,
back to the plot. I
yeah.
I
Back to the
think
plot. Yeah,
the 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 Confederation of African Football
mm,
gave the game to Morocco
mm,
3-0,
mm,
which Mikey tells me that if one team doesn't appear,
mm.
then that's how many goals you award the team that's on the field.
Yeah,
Because I seem to remember when I was a lad
mm,
that if one team doesn't turn up, then what you do is you take the ball to the centre spot. The
yeah,
team that's there will kick off and
yeah,
score the one goal.
yeah,
And as the game can't be carried on,
mm,
that would be it. 1
yeah,
nil.
yeah,
And I thought that it was the same for the penalty as well,
yeah,
because the penalty in this game, the penalty was awarded,
yeah,
and one team went to the dressing rooms,
mm.
and so I would have thought that the referee would have put the ball on the penalty spot,
So, well, yeah.
and the guy from Morocco would have scored his goal without there
Mm.
being a goalkeeper. And
I,
as the game couldn't go any further,
mm.
then it would be awarded 1-0 to Morocco.
Yeah,
But my son says no, no. If they abandon the game, it's a walkover.
yeah. I mean, I
So,
mean, it's only just finished a court case from 1987 here. Funny enough, with Sport Recife
yeah, if
playing
they if they
Flamengo,
yeah,
and Flamengo didn't show up. Sport Recife were awarded the championship. Yeah,
yeah, of course.
yeah. I mean, we still claim it. Us sport fans still claim it, but it's a it's a hollow victory.